Good morning. Hey, chicks, let's chat. It's been a while. Yes, it has. Um, but I hope y'all off to a good new year. Um, Hope everything going well for you this morning. So, I finally had a little something I wanted to talk about. And actually, I was inspired by this post that I read on Facebook. And the young lady, she was basically stating that as funny as it may sound, that she knows a lot of situations where the mean women seem to have, the husbands, and a lot of times it just seems like it works, and I thought about what she was saying, and I noticed that, I too know situations that are like that, or have seen, a couple of situations. Even we see some on we see some even on social media where it seems like the woman, like, she's kind of dominant or whatever, and the husband basically he acquiesced to what she wants, etc., so forth. And when I thought about that, I was like, what it is that a lot of times women who are strong-willed, strong, just have strong personalities, a lot of time those women are termed mean, right? When that's not always the case. It's not always the case that that person is a mean person just because they may be, the type that they stand on business. They serious about what they're discussing. They mean what they say. Their voice is strong. Maybe they're loud. That does not mean that they're mean. Because I have seen women who are polar opposite of all of those characteristics, and they just as nasty and terrible as they want to be. You hear me? So just because a woman has, certain type of characteristics, that don't always mean that she's mean, And I really, when I really thought about it, I felt like the woman that she was describing was not necessarily a mean woman, but perhaps a hard woman. And there's a difference between the two, right? And a lot of times women who are hard are deemed to be mean. And what it is just that when you have went through certain things, and those things have framed you, I'm not even going to say that you haven't healed from them or whatever, but when certain life lessons have, framed you in a certain way, it can, and it does make you a harder woman. And do I think that a lot of times that black women or women of color suffer from that? I'm going to say yes, I do. And I say suffer from that because it's deemed bad. It's deemed bad. It's deemed that, it showcases you like in a negative light when you're a hard woman. And a lot of times it's just that life and the experiences that we've been through make us that way. Now, every woman does not suffer from that. She may not be a hard woman per se, but that does not mean that she's not suffering from life. She may not be a hard woman because the meds that she take every day keep her from being hard, or keep her from being, tough. Or maybe she's just not built in a way that her character was never a tough person. And then so when she went through what she went through, she definitely could not take it or could not withstand it. So she had to go and get on her some meds or something just to help her navigate life, right? Now a lot of the harder women, I'm gonna say they're more likely to just take it on the chin, and sometimes maybe even self-medicate. You know what I'm saying? Maybe those the women that you see, they start to gain a little weight, or they just real short-tempered. Don't mean that they mean, it just mean that you ain't gonna play with them. They're just not they're non-tolerant. They have no time for the foolishness, no time for the games. Don't waste their time. Don't play in their face. Don't play up under them like that. They're going to have a problem with that because of the things that they've already been through in life, you know. So that's why I say, you know, that women who suffer from that. Because the truth of the matter is just that life can make you a certain way. And the experiences that we go through, it has made us a certain way. As a culture, black people as a culture, life and history has made us a certain way. And we would be crazy to think that the things that we experience, the things that our ancestors experienced, we would be crazy to think that those things and the feelings that those experiences brought about, we would be crazy and ignorant to think that those things have not framed us and have not, you know, stamped us in a certain way. Because they have. You don't go through this life unscathed. It's impossible. Right? But back to the relationship portion, you know, the young lady was saying how, you know, a lot of times, you know, they have husbands and they seemingly have decent relationships, you know. And that part is what made me really think about what type of woman she was talking about. And I was like, okay, no, it's not that the lady is mean. It's that she's a hard woman. And all the time, just because you're a hard woman don't mean that you're hard to get along with. No, that's not what hard means, right? And so what you will find, and why you will find that woman will have a man who acquiesces to her and who, you know, and who she is actually in a relationship where the nice sister the nice sister, cousin, auntie, or whatever can't get a man, or might just don't have a man, but the seemingly mean one, oh, she have hers, you know, and he ain't going nowhere, and he good. You know why? Because what it is that man, he has the ability to handle her in a way that works for her. It works for her hardness, right? And a lot of time when a woman is hard, she can't necessarily have a man who is equally as hard or harder than her if he does not know when to pull that back. Like, he can't be a man that's willing to go tit for tat. He can be a man that's tough and stand on business, yes, but he can't be a man who wants to go tit for tat with her every time she feels some kind of way. He got to, you know, double down on that, and, you know, those are the relationships that's gonna constantly clash, because based on what she's already been through, you have to be kind to her. You have to handle her genteel in a lot of ways, in a lot of circumstances. Not every day, oh, you're walking on eggshells, no. But when it comes to certain things, you gotta talk to her nice, baby. You gotta, you know, you have to show up for her in a certain way. And once a man realizes that about her, like, it'll be a situation where he'll say, like, he will know about her that she's so tough on the outside, but she may be easily to make cry behind closed doors. She may be easily offended behind closed doors. So once he realizes that about her, then he knows how to handle her. So that's why, even though she may be like gruff, he knows how to make her clock tick. And because he knows that, she's willing to cater and acquiesce to him. She might argue, fuss, or whatever while she doing it, but those be the women that they know how to treat their man, and they know how to cater to their man. And she might be arguing, might even be cussing while she making him dinner, but she gonna make sure that man eat dinner. She gonna make sure he have a clean house. She gonna make sure whatever his needs are, whatever his likes are, whatever his requirements are, they're taken care of. And that's why no matter what, her name, her presence, it holds weight in that man's heart. Even though she may seem like she's mean, and his homeboys may be like, well, I couldn't deal with that. You might couldn't. But because he's built a certain way, he know that all the time he don't have to be hard. He know that he have a lady that's willing to go to the ends of the earth for him. It don't matter that she seem like she mean to you. He know that when he have her in the confines of home, that ain't nothing that woman won't do for him. Now I'm not talking about, when a woman is, just being disrespectful and just handling her man any kind of way, this, that, or the third. I ain't talking about that, because of course that has to be checked. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to be in those situations. But oftentimes, that happens. That can happen with any kind of woman if it's not checked. She don't have to be a hard woman. She could be just as nice and sweet or whatever, but if you don't check her in certain situations and certain circumstances, she will go too far. And she will embarrass you, and she will make you look like the biggest fool. She don't have to be a hard woman for that. Right? So, let me just ask for us women to think about, if by any chance we have become a hard woman, has life made us hard? And if so, how do we navigate that? How do we fix that? Is it fixable? How do we go about, navigating our relationships now that we have become hard? Now that we know, we can honestly say, yeah, life has toughened me up a little bit, and now I have this certain type of attitude that I carry, or I have, almost sometimes I might have a little S on my chest sometimes. I might poke my chest out a little bit too much sometimes, just because I don't want to be tried, or I don't want to be made to feel in a way that I have previously been made to feel. So how I move is just how I move, and like I said before, that is something that you suffer from. So I do feel like that if you are that person, that is something that you should think about working on, and figuring out what needs to be done to help you soften up a bit. I'm not saying change your whole persona, change everything about everything. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying to be cognitive of the fact that you might just be a little hard. You know in your heart and in your mind that you're the sweetest person on earth, that that you're a giver, you're a lover, you know that. But how you show up a lot of times does not represent who you actually are. You know what I'm saying? They kind of don't match a lot of times, And I just want to let me say to the men too that, if you have a woman who she's a little bit tough, she's sweet, she's a dear heart, she's, babe, she's boo, whatever, but you have to just, be a little genteel with her. You have to just, talk to her nice, like I said, know that, get to know that about your woman, and handle her accordingly, because hey, everybody gonna come with something. If all she coming with is just, hey, she a little tough sometimes, she might have a little attitude sometimes, a little rough, a little tough. If that's all she coming with, baby, you could deal with that. If you a certain type of man. Now, if you ain't a certain type of man, you're not going to be able to deal with it. And I'm not here to convince you to deal with it. But I'm just saying, like, don't throw that woman out. Don't be so quick to throw her out, because trust and believe you throwing a blessing out. Trust and believe now, you throwing a good woman out just because sometimes you don't want to take the time to get to know her, or the time to just say, you know what, I'm going to handle her. I know how I need to handle her. you don't want to take the time to figure out the best way to her heart. You know what I'm saying? So just be mindful of that. So y'all, that's all I got for y'all today. Y'all have a good one.